All right, Shalom. Salaki, give me a second. Turn this down. All right, Shalom. We the Brothers of Great Millstone Church in Birmingham, Alabama, and as always, want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Yeah, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, those will be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also, I'd like to give double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there, and as always, you believers. So yeah, we back once again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. You can see them with the brothers Barak, Wadawadah. The Spirit allowed us to come together once more to go into another quick lesson. As always, continuing in the spirit and theme of prophecy, which is custom here at Great Millstone, beginning at the apostles and elders as charged, meaning our Lord Yahweh Shai himself commanded us. Matter of fact, let's begin in the book of Matthew, the 28th chapter, Matthew 28, and begin at the 18th verse, right? Because for the brothers that you see out there, the sincere men teaching his word, there's a resilient spirit, a heavy spirit of diligence, right? A constancy, steadfastness, men continuing and pushing the word. Well, it's because we have been instructed to do so through the spirit. We're under instruction, man, explicit instructions, in fact. So you have E, right, who have grown tired of what's that, Ecclesiastes, the 8th chapter, tells you how that old foolish king will no longer be reproved. Well, now he's beginning to respond in the form of threatening us with these emails. You got these YouTube guidelines, parameters, right? You have to speak in code, pretty much. Well, the old saying, don't shoot the messenger, right? Okay, because that's all it is. He's offended in the message. What's the movie 300? Remember when those ambassadors, they came and they had a certain spirit. There was a representation of, was it Xerxes? I believe it was, yeah. There was a representation of him. They had like this pump spirit. They was talking to him as if he was just a subject. They was talking like they was the king. It was confident, and he pretty much committed a war crime. He kicked them into that pit. That's because he was offended, in the messengers. So that's what you're seeing now, man. The prophets who have been entrusted with this word, who have been instructed to go forth and to condemn this place, well, now you are seeing a heavy form of resistance. But again, what can you do? You can't stop that momentum. Why? Because again, we're under the orders of the king. All right, so come on.
Con, this is the book of Matthew, St. Matthew, chapter 28 and verse 18. And Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you.
Right, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded. So Yahweh commanded us to pretty much condemn Esau and his kingdom. Set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. That's the main objective. How do we know that? Continue, right?
And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world.
Right. And this is the end of the world. Let's look up a couple of words right here, which, by the way, that phrase itself, the end of the world, what we found out through the Holy Spirit of understanding, is synonymous with Esau. What's that, 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, and the 9th verse? For Esau is the end of the world. So real quick, let's click on that word end
Con. Strong's G 4930 for that word in. It says completion, consummation,
Mm-hmm.
in.
Right. Completion. What comes to mind? The statue, Nebuchadnezzar's dream. It was completed. It was a completion, which those of us in the know, we understand that statue serves as a timeline dedicated to the rise and fall of kingdoms and empires. So the completion of that succession or series of kingdoms is Esau, because the 10 toes represents the nations that will come together. And remember, when you read the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter, it speaks to the nations ruling 1 hour with the beast. Right? So pretty much that scarlet colored beast is a representation, is a symbol of Esau. See? So he would be the end. It speaks about that in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter as well. Let's click on that root word right there.
Con. It says to end together or at the same time.
Right. Hey, go back to the statue, right? Once Yahweh Shah return, he's going to take down that whole statue. So all the kingdoms at once will be subdued. Go ahead.
It says to end completely.
Right. No more influence of the other nations in the planet Earth. The kingdom of heaven will be the kingdom of Yahweh Shah on display. What's that? 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, wherein righteousness dwell.
Mm-hmm.
So in the world to come, which is fast approaching, the law, statutes, and commandments will be administered into the planet Earth. It will be a righteous overtone. And that in itself is foreign, especially in contrast to what you have now. Right? Just think about what you have now, man. It's hard to fathom righteousness. Really, righteousness, this is the only form of righteousness. Teaching. That's the only glimpse of righteousness. Just speaking on, right, the possibilities. You know? And even that is as filthy rags. Right? So our righteousness is of the Most High. Outside of that, there's nowhere to turn for relief. It's wickedness on all fronts. Come on.
Con. It says bring to an end, finish, complete. It says to accomplish, bring to fulfillment, to come to pass, to effect, make, conclude.
Oh, the scripture speaks about in effects and signs and wonders. So the end is taking effect. Everything is set in motion. Despite the incredulity of the people, everything is right on schedule. We are closing in on the kingdom of heaven, man. Come on.
Con. It says to finish, to make an end of.
Right. The Lord is going to make an end of wickedness. Drill music. See, this is the comfort. We get it now. Because, the only thing we have to lean on is the word. Right? Outside of that, you will be numbered amongst the congregation of the dead, where there is no hope. The scripture speaks to the fact that where there is no vision, what's that, Proverbs, the 29th chapter? Where there is no vision, the people perish. So without this hope of seeing the world to come, we will all perish. It would be nothing to live for. You have that YOLO spirit. You will crash out. So now we display the ultimate form of patience. This is the most patient game. You know what I was pondering on the other day, right? And it's the spirit. You know the most patient spirit you can be in? Reading. That's patience, man. It's really patience capsulized. When you get in those moments, you have to sit down and read the scripts, because that's really what you're reduced to. What can you do? You're not stockpiling and running or exerting energy. You're sitting there and you're reading, and pretty much that attention that's being gravitated to the book is based upon a promise. Else, why are you there? Why are you sitting, waiting, and reading and studying? Come on.
Con. It says to bring to an end,
Mm-hmm.
destroy.
Destroy. See that? So that proves that this kingdom is not going to just pass away of natural causes, if you will. Just certain miscalculations, and China resume the number one seat. Russia is a close second. America is a drop comfortably to third in the rankings until they regain their footing and they'll come back. No. The Lord said he's going to destroy it. This end is going to come by way of a violent takedown. See? We got anything out there?
Con, I got something for you real quick. Just going back to that end. And as you mentioned how we should be in a certain spirit. The book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. 2 Peter 3 and start at verse 10. Because it's going back. This is how the end of the world, this is how the Lord is going to submit the end of this world, by the way of that destruction, man. The Lord gave us, that hope, that outlet, when the smoke clear and the dust settles, so to speak, we'll still be standing through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem outside, but you got it out.
Con. This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also,
right? Those heavens. See, and you can see the realm, the mind of a Christian, you could just imagine the emotions that's running if they read that, That's not where your grandma at, man. Those heavens, right, with the brother reading, is a dark sand. This is one of the Lord's parables. Those heavens is concerning the rulership, those that govern over the planet Earth, which simplified translates to Esau. So what the scriptures are saying here is that these heavens, or Esau, is going to pass away. His kingdom is going to be moved out of the way by way of a great noise. And what's that great noise? Those missiles, man. The arrows of the Lord. It tells you that in the book of Judges, 5th chapter. It speaks about the matter of fact. You want to grab that real quick, Baba Kashar? That's basically the rallying cry. America is set to be destroyed, man. And that's why, again, when we read in Matthew the 28th chapter, Yahushua concluded that commandment by saying, "Where I will be with you always, even to the end of the world." That was a clue, letting you know where that message will go forth. Here at the end of the world. And we're going to go back to that definition as well. But come on.
Con, this is Judges chapter 5 and verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water.
Right. Oh, and that proves right there that the scriptures is a build up to this destruction. That's another thing we found out through the mercy of the Lord, man. That word salvation, it was thrown around loosely. It's even cringeworthy. It was your auntie, somebody saying, they was making this hard stance. I'm saved.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But what was you saved from? See? See, we found out that there's a destruction, a great destruction coming. So, hey, that's the scriptures giving you somewhat of an illustration right there. They that are delivered from the noise of archers. That's the deliverance from those missiles. Read it again.
Con. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water.
Right, which is America, man, place of your captivity. Go ahead.
There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord.
Yep, and that's what you're witnessing at its height once you're in the spirit of teaching. You see? You know what proved that? It tells you how Yahweh taught daily in the temple. That was highlighted. It was a conscious effort to expose that characteristic of our Lord. That was a righteous act. Although, you know, we rehearse the customs, you know, we follow the high holy days, Sabbaths, all these things to the best of our ability. Go ahead.
Con. Even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel.
Go ahead.
Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates.
Right, go down to the gates. So that proves right there that the ultimate form of righteousness here in this realm, that righteous act of the Lord is teaching, man. See? As it is written, they rebuke of him that
They hate of him, they rebuke.
They hate him in the book.
Like you, they hate of him who rebuketh in the gate. You see? But again, what's the point there? The noise of archers, which an archer in its traditional form, when you go back to those who use the archer, if their weapon of choice was a bow and arrow, you will know that that weapon was a silent weapon. It's like a silencer. So why do the scriptures refer to these archers as noisy? Because again, it's a metaphor for the missiles. So we can go back and let's add some up.
Oh no, I ain't got nothing.
Yep. Oh, you got it, bro.
Con. Slacking. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10, it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
And if I may, hey, that's the fate of Esau, man. You know, the scripture talk about this great judgment. It was fit for E, you know, concerning the return of the Lord. There was going to be a certain nation that was going to be set up, you know, when this event unfold, man. And that's the so-called white man, which are the biblical Edomites. You got it out.
It says, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
So everything about this system, you know, from the NBA, you know, to even the thought processes of man, you know, for example, atheism, that shit gonna be burned up, you know. Everything that this world present, all that is going to be burned up. It's going to have this is where it's going to come to its end. You know, you got it out.
It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
Yeah, so it says, seeing then that all these things being dissolved, so the Lord, you know, fashion us in such a way to receive the testimony of Yahweh Shai. You know, so us, you know, having this truth, we foresee of the evil, you know, and now we got a certain spirit on us. We know we hide ourselves in the pavilion of the Lord, and our conversations of the scriptures, man. You know, we this is what we are driven by, you know, these prophecies, because ultimately this is going to be our relief. Matter of fact, read the next verse.
Looking for and hastening until the coming of the day of the Most High, Yahweh Shah Salakia says, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved,
Huh?
and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
So that's part of our faith and our desire is for this to come, man. We hastening in the destruction, man. Because that's the will of the Lord. That's the will of Yahweh Shema Shai, and we on board with it, man. Because ultimately, this is part of these are the steps to the kingdom, And this going back to that end, these certain things have to take place. It's an order within the prophecies. That's why even Esau is being called out. It talks about that in Second Thessalonians. Before the return of the Lord, certain things had to happen. One of those things was the son of perdition being revealed. And him being revealed. The next step is him now being destroyed. You got it out.
Con. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness.
So yeah, them promises, which is the prophecies, the promises, word promise is a word used for the future, man. So these different prophecies, we hold fast to it, and it consists of the evil. But guess what? The grass gonna be green on the other side when the Lord destroy this place. But this is what's going to cement that in. This is what everything it talks about how we shall be trodden down to the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. This is it. That's why Esau is in power now, because this is the last of the nations in their run. So what's the next step? This destruction in the kingdom. You got it out.
Oh, so that was it on that? Yeah, so
Con.
let's go back. Let's go back to that definition.
Con.
Now let's go to the definition for matter of fact, let's read in these Strongs.
Salat.
Yeah, let's go back there and read in the Strongs. And again, this is for the word end, right here in the Greek. Go ahead.
Con. Strong's definition, it says to complete and it's like to complete entirely.
Entirely. Right, on all fronts, from the spectrum of the nations to everything that Esau has promoted in his kingdom. It's going to come to a complete end, man. And again, this is what contributes to our comfort. Right, I mentioned the drill music. They play that shit in damn NBA games and like a commercial football game, Everything is vexing here. The black woman's completely out of control. You put a camera in front of her, that's her cue to start twerking. That's going to get burnt up, right? These pastors and preachers, that shit, that is vexing, man. Those who hold fast to that Kirk Franklin. Oh, did you see that Kirk Franklin and Kamala Harris?
Yeah, man.
Hey, if you ain't vexed after that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, cause I can't even see that little nigga. Like, he just. If you want to get fired up in the spirit, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pull that nigga up, video. But see, these things are going to get burnt up, and even your worstest of enemies, right? You couldn't come up with the perfect ending or perfect form of judgment than what the Most High have. Because really, everything that you can think of, you have to base it upon what the Most High created. Whether you want them to starve to death, well, the Lord got that covered. It's going to come in the form of a famine. You want them to be overwhelmed with fear, right? You want them to have a slow, torturous death. The Lord got that under control. Or you might say, I want them to burn. I think of the worst thing, make them burn. The Lord is going to make them burn with a form or brand of fire that's really not of this realm. That's going to be that oven turned up 7 times. See? Come on.
Good. It says to execute Literally or figuratively.
Right. So yeah, to go back to that point, knowing that, fret not. You know, the Lord got you. He gonna handle these people, man. That's the best thing. You know, that comforts you. You're appeased, right? You see this nigga Kurt Franklin or one of these guys, like I mentioned, then you think to the destruction, you know, and that pleases you, seeing that little nigga squirm around and that fire. Hey, because judgment, hey, it makes our day, man. We have judgment go out. You feel better, like, yeah, man, you know. Or the scriptures say that there is a power. It says, surely they shall know. Surely they shall know that there is a power that execute judgment in the earth, man. All right, come on.
Con. It says in, finish, fulfill, make.
Right. So now let's go to that word world.
Okay.
Again, we're dealing with that phrase, end of the world. Now let's see if it's speaking about the entire planet Earth or this existence, this experience known as life is going to come to an end one day. That's what they taught you in Christianity, man. Everything come to an end, then it's going to be this one long single file line. You get cleared to go to heaven or not. You see that? Come on.
Cause that word world, Strong's G 165.
Go straight to the point on it. Go straight to the point on it.
Cause it says period of time, age.
Right. So the end of the world is the end of an age, an end of a period of time, the end of Esau's time. So that's why when the Lord said he's with us always, even to the end of the world, that's speaking, that's detail. If you're paying attention, he will be with us all the way into this age, the end of Esau, the end of the Romans, man. Because when you really go into that whole dynamic of being oppressed by the Romans, that struggle in the womb, right? Because that struggle, when you look up that word struggle, it goes into oppress and to crush one another. So a big blow was with the heavy taxation of the Jews, man. Right? There was heavily taxed. There was a lot of uprisings. But what was Yahushua message when he came on the scene? The kingdom of heaven is at hand, which entail rulership, meaning you would be ruling. You see? But as it were, you know, our people, we know the story. They didn't receive Yahushua. But when did Yahushua come? In the time of the Romans. See? So when he said, I'm with you all the way to the end of the world, he was speaking from that moment in time to now. That was the next, you know, in the series. Because remember, Acts, the first chapter, right? The disciples, they was inquiring about the kingdom. Asked them, would thou at this time restore the kingdom? Not knowing that they had to come to America. Esau, in his last leg, if you will, of this Roman Empire, this beast system, he would return, build the desolate places, rebuild the desolate places. Then what would happen? The Lord would throw down, ultimately. So we had to be here to witness that. And Yahushua will be with us through this duration of time. See? Matter of fact, let's get that in Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. And if you got some out, you can bring it out.
I ain't got that.
So again, remember, right? The Lord said he's with us all the way into the end of the world. And he commanded us to teach all nations and that they should observe, you know, what we was to teach. So now, would it be a world-friendly doctrine of peace? The song would be that of serenity, and no, it would be in the form of death threats. It would be condemning this place. Matter of fact, read that heading right there before we
come. Prophesy against Mount Seir.
See, and that links up directly to when Yahweh Shah said, I am with you always, even to the end of the world, man. And to teach all nations. It didn't deviate. Because you'll read this, seeing that it's documented in the Old Testament, and you are classified as just that. But we understand that this is prophecy from the prophet Ezekiel. And that complements Yahweh Shai's testimony, which is the spirit of prophecy. So again, we are under explicit orders to condemn Esau. Why do you think we have so much information? We got something tonight we're going to pull out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai Shai. Why do you think all these things are readily available? Because this is the time of inquisition, the time where the Lord will set his sights on Esau. Because Moses and Aaron, they was diligent about Pharaoh, you know? Everywhere Pharaoh pop up, Moses and Aaron was there. In a lot of cases, you know? See, because the Lord was pretty much leaning. You know how you can shake somebody down, you're a mobster, and you send somebody, shake them down, you pressing them. The Lord was leaning on the powers that be, Pharaoh. And now he's set that visitation toward Eve. Come on.
God, this is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it.
Right. See, you set your sights are set on them, man. And when you set your sights on someone, I don't give a damn how many people in the room, they know who you're talking to. It's an intimate. We haven't shied away from declaring unto you the whole counsel, man. We coming right at Esau. We calling his name. Because you remember them fiery niggas back in the day, they'll say the white man, you know, and it had a ring to it. But we calling them by a spirit, his spiritual, his true name. That really caused a reaction. And we done tested that, right? At camp, Edomite walked by, we did it plenty of times. He said, Esau. And they'll just look, man, out of all, you know, right? Come on out.
Good. It says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power. Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee.
Right. Thus said the Lord power. So we're not just conjuring up our own words here. We go into the precepts. Right? And what's the rallying cry? The Lord is against Esau. You have a lot of people to react to it. The rebuttal might be in certain cases, the Lord love everybody. John 3 and 16 might just come out. Right? Because what's the emphasis? The Lord, right, gonna destroy Esau. Go ahead. And niggas always want to jump to that nigga. That's why, man, you know, Yahweh Shai Shai got a special Jacob's trouble. That's why you have a Jacob's trouble. We get it. You niggas jump into the line of fire for Esau, and you don't hear him making a case. I thought you niggas were Africans, right? It seemed to me that you niggas would be on some, say, Africa. You know what I mean? Somehow you niggas should be able to link the tribe of Shabazz or something in there, man. But as it were, what you niggas do, you don't even think about the other nations. And don't let a nigga find Jew or Greek, right? Right? That take them over the top. Come on.
Cut. It says, it's like it, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate.
And I will make thee most desolate, man. Click on that word most, huh?
Okay.
So again, what we read in here is the Lord pretty much calling out Esau, man. This is a personal threat. That's why, again, the Lord commanded the prophet to set our face against Mount Seir. That's why on that missile sign, it's a lot of places going to be destroyed. But on that missile sign, the emphasis is Mount Seir, America, which Mount Seir is America, man. See? Because that's the throne of Esau. For an example, the whore that sit upon the scarlet colored beast, right? America is the one that sit up top it. You see? That's the very essence of a mountain or a bump, a rising.
Mhm.
Come on.
Strong's H 4923 for that word most. It says devastation, horror, devastation, waste, horror.
Mm.
In the Strong's definition, it says a waste or amazement,
Yeah.
astonishment.
Hey, the Lord gonna work a beautiful work over here. Look, you got to think about how great the Lord is, right? Just look at his creations. You see, if he's campaigning for this destruction, you know it's not going to be a letdown. You see the build up, how the Lord is promoting this thing. It's not going to be a letdown, man, because that amazement, that astonishment, yeah, it's going to be peaked with the destruction itself. You're going to hiss at America. Your flesh going to crawl at what the Lord going to do to this place. But prior to that, remember in ancient Egypt, the Lord sent apparitions and all that, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think the stage is set now? That's why all of that promoted. You have YouTube channel, you got videos dedicated to ghosts. That's the prepping. So this place is going to be an astonishment. All right, so we can go back up unless you got something.
Con, I got something real quick. Just bag you up real quick. Because pretty much as you mentioned, the Lord gonna really throw the kitchen sink at this place. 2 Ezra 15 and verse 10. So also, you mentioned Egypt and Pharaoh, and that's how the Lord, he established that his name was established throughout the earth and what he have done to Egypt, man. So how much more in this time you got technology and everybody going live, and it's gonna be for the world to see, man.
Yeah.
But the credit gonna go to Yahweh by Shemal Shai,
Oh, it's like that angel. We believe that to be an angel, right? Out there on the West Coast with the brothers. Yeah, that's why you got them cameras, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a lot of things, You might get delivered on camera. Right?
Yeah.
Because these niggas, you can see it. It's like it's almost like a surprise that these niggas really ain't geared their aggression towards the camps. They tried it here and there. They had, I think it was a challenge. They had a paintball challenge or something. I don't know if it was a paintball, but it was some niggas was doing round by camp. But we understand why niggas ain't geared their attention towards us, as touching their mischief or doing that, because Psalms 34 and 7, right? But it's going to be moments where guys are going to try you in certain things, and the Lord is going to show himself, man, because the scriptures have to be manifest. You have to see it too. See? So, I just wanted to add that because there's going to be a lot of judgment on camera, but I can see miracles too. You can see the reason and signs behind cameras being everywhere. Filming everything. You film a brother run 200 miles an hour getting away,
That's it. If I made it, that's the balance of the Lord.
Yeah.
You know, we already seen videos of somebody getting mangled in a machine, you know,
Oh,
or ran over by a truck. You know, now is the balance part of it, you know, being kept from these, you know, these said perils, you know, these different miracles on
right.
display to show you it's the Lord, man, you know.
Yeah, because niggas like to film. Niggas like, yeah, you know, nigga filming you. Nigga run down on their ops and they film
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah.
Con.
Snowing the bluff and shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, try that with the prophets and they record a miracle, man.
God. Man.
Shit go viral.
If I may,
Mm-hmm.
scripture say, in the day of thy power, your people shall be willing.
Yep.
Just backing up your point, they gonna be able to see it, you know.
Hey, because Yahweh Shai witness to all this. And I mean the scriptures. Right? It was times the Lord used the birds to step in, you know. It was certain miracles that took place that was outside of the realm of understanding. So you don't think that's going to happen again? Now, a flock of ravens pop up and they bring food, and a lot of these birds they can talk and mimic.
Oh yeah.
So I'm telling you, man, the stage is set because they hear what you say and then they'll fucking mimic it, man, with the same tone of voice and all that. Enough for a bird to come through. Call out, shalom. You're gonna, and pardon me, man.
Yeah.
You know, but
That's
this
beautiful.
is only for the serious minded, man. Right? Because the Lord have animals to talk to, man. But I'm saying though, it's documented you do have birds that, and those, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's crows or ravens. They known for doing that as well, speaking.
Con. Yeah.
Come on.
Con. You said verse 10, Salaki.
Yeah, Con, start at verse 10, Baba Kusha.
Con. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
And that Egypt is concerning America, man. This place of our captivity, you know, but the Lord, you know, giving us this understanding, you know, this truth show you that this is that process out of this captivity, man. You know, the Lord giving us this understanding, you know, and within them plagues, you know, they was kept. The children of Israel were kept within them plagues, you know, from them plagues, you know, their cattle wasn't affected. You know, it talks about how that hail with fire, you know, the darkness, and ultimately, you know, when that death angel came, which is Yahweh Shai, that blood, you know, covered them, man. And that's on display in this time, by the way, that blood being in our minds, you know, which is having this truth, man. You know, but you got it out.
Con. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before.
Yeah, see, so America's gonna go through these same plagues, man. You know, that's why you hearing talks of a blackout, you know, famine, even the cattle being put to death. You know, these are the pretty much the same plagues of Egypt, man. But it's more intense, you know, from the people and their daily routines to just the earth not being as strong. You know, you got these GMO foods as well, you know, but these plagues are even is more intense, you know. But it's not talking about actual Egypt. This is actually talking about America. Because when you read the results of the judgment, matter of fact, you can continue.
Con. And I will destroy all the land thereof.
So that's talking about America. They ain't talking about actual Egypt. It's talking about spiritual Egypt and spiritually Sodom, man. You know, this place is really set up for that moment. That's why it's separate. You know, talk about the end of the world. You know, this place was set up pretty much for the Lord to show, put his show his power, have his power on display by the way of the destruction of Babylon the Great, man. And this is where he's gonna once again have his name glorified throughout the planet Earth. When you read Jeremiah, the 16th chapter, talking about it shall no more be said, the Lord lived that brought up the children out of the land of Egypt. And in a roundabout way, is they saying that by the way of they might acknowledge the plagues of Egypt, but they don't acknowledge Yahweh Shema Shai doing it. These devils come up with a scientific reason why the frogs came and that what brought forth this and that what this chain reaction, not knowing what a source of these plagues, but when the Lord destroy America, man, before you mention Babylon the Great or anything, you gonna acknowledge the powers of heaven and earth who have done this, man. But you got it out. That was pretty much it on that.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point, because these devils, they read the scriptures. They know who sent them, but they cover the faces of the judge. That's an example of covering the faces of the judges as well. They suppress it. You hear him talking about King Solomon.
Yeah.
Right?
God.
Try to keep all that quiet. So that was it on that?
Con.
Yeah, so let's
Ezekiel.
any more tabs open. If not, we can transition to the video.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much we have been given orders to set our face against Mount Seir and to prophesy against it. Right? And as we speak these things, they come to pass. We're pretty much speaking it into existence. Saying that now, you see the source here is CBN. That's iffy. We was kind of wondering should we even present it, but it's accurate what they're going into. See? You're gonna see as we play it. Matter of fact, you got it up.
Okay.
This is the sound most people expect to hear in an attack on the American home front. But when war comes, we may only hear this.
Right there, you see these Americans, man. They ready for the taking, man.
Yes.
Just the sound of the siren, right over there, and where they just got through bombing the hell out of those over there. Where it was Palestine,
Gaza.
Gaza, yeah.
in Gaza,
Yeah, God.
right? That whole region pretty much is riddled with war. Damn, buildings blown up. They hear a drill. They hear that shit and they sleep, man. Or like a siren.
Mm-hmm.
But you see these Americans, they was sort of like a chase rope, as the scripture says, like a deer at the sound of a branch.
God.
Deer, boats. Right?
Yeah.
That look of boating. I can see
Yeah.
Ock out there, man. Ready to boat. Come on, Ock.
Good.
But when war comes, we may only hear this. Silence, when many of the things we rely upon stop working. The Commission on the National Defense Strategy recently warned senators the United States is unprepared for a devastating cyber war that will bring life in towns and cities across America to a standstill.
The public is essentially clueless about the massive cyber attacks that could be launched any day by our adversaries, not just nation states, but rogue actors as well.
Experts see the next war beginning with a keyboard attack on America's critical infrastructure, threatening to cut off internet, electricity, water, transportation, and financial systems. It would mean almost everything from phones to gas pumps to cash machines to traffic lights suddenly stop working.
If I may, and that show you that's the end of this world. That's these different things. The electricity, the internet. This devil and this wicked system. That's you got to have these things to even be in this motherfucker. To keep your head above water, you need the internet, your phone, and shit like that. But the Lord is closing the curtains on this place. That's why these things are being taken away. It's being compromised. You got it a while.
If I may add, you recently had these outages in 7 southeastern states, Texas, Georgia, Florida, here in Alabama, and it was AT&T. But what also was interesting about it, that some of the 911 in these particular cities didn't work either, and that's all building up until that time of distress on these people, man. You ain't gonna have nobody to call, nobody to run to, that perplexity,
Hey, that shows you too, man, that the Lord is gonna do a work here, man. Right? You're gonna be left speechless, mouth open. That's why one of those definitions was astonishment, amazement. Come on, out.
Okay.
We're very vulnerable.
Cybersecurity expert Dr. Samantha Ravitch served on Congress's Cyberspace Solarium Commission and as a deputy national security advisor in the Bush White House. She's especially concerned about the lack of protection at America's many municipal water stations.
A soft underbelly of our country is our water system. And those water utilities don't often have the best cybersecurity. They have old technology.
After a cyber strike on your local water plant, your water tap might not work or your water could become dangerous to drink. In 2021, it was reported that a hacker tried to poison the water supply of Oldsmar, Florida, by increasing the levels of sodium hydroxide. The city now claims it was operator error, but in the last year, foreign actors from Iran and Russia have been linked to water facility attacks in Pennsylvania, Indiana, and Texas.
I've personally been inside over a dozen water and wastewater plants just in this region alone, and 100% of the water systems that I've been involved with have been extremely vulnerable to external attacks specifically.
So, like, if I may, he said 100% that he been into. So it's not even a inkling that any one of them will be able to be defended,
And if I may, you see the vulnerability? These devils is vulnerable because, matter of fact, let's get that real quick in Jeremiah 49. Then we're going to come back here. Because the Lord, he's pretty much protecting, he's hedging Israel beginning at the elect. But you see on the flip side, and there go the duality of the Lord once more on the flip side, he's rejecting, he has abandoned and left Esau open, man. This man is vulnerable. The way his system is set up, it's a very volatile situation, man. At any moment, right, the power can go out. These devils, they never consider their latter end. They got a very hasty approach. So they wasn't calculating and computing, stressing the power grid for so many years and how would it take effect so many years down the line. So they're going to be forced to what? To pretty much ration out these resources. That's going to happen, man. It's going to be a point where they're going to, which that's already have happened at certain points, here in America, but they're going to have it where you're going to be able to use power maybe from 8 in the morning to noon and the power shut down, or have access to water from the hours of noon to 3. See? Oh, you see that now with these highways where you see where it's dark on certain stretches. I know you brothers done seen that as well, where they have the damn street lights out.
Yeah.
They preserving that power, man. And the people, they just going and coming as they please. They're not privy to what's taking place. Come on.
Con. This is Jeremiah verse 10.
Salaki. Yep, verse 10.
Con. Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not.
Right. So the Lord said he will eventually make Esau bare. He will not be able to hide himself. Now, first and foremost, this is concerning this man being exposed, that heavy inquisition. He's not able to hide behind these uniforms no more. No, I'm an American. No, you're an Edomite. No, I'm French. No, you're an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? But this also implies that he would not be able to protect himself, man. Because when you're uncovered, that means you are vulnerable. That's why the scripture goes on to say, and he should not be able to hide himself, man. And again, you see the contrast, the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. See, all these things go back to Jacob and Esau, right? The one people being embraced and the other being rejected. So in a time when we will be hidden, right? This is a time where he will not be able to hide. He'll be open on all fronts. So this man's system is a manifestation of his vulnerability. His missiles pointed at America, man. Right now, they just pretty much naked. That's why Trump, he made the statement of covering America with a dome or some shit.
Yeah.
Right? Because he understood the sense of urgency, man. He know what's on the table. He understand. And they know the prophets is right. See? Because they like, shit. We just picked up intel, intercepted certain information where they got so many warheads ready. You know what I mean? Or this form of missile, this technology have been heightened. Now we got missiles that can actually reach over here. You see, and meanwhile, we're prophesying it as it unfolds. See, but that all contributes to this man being bare, being naked, not able to hide himself. So everything is vulnerable with Esau at this point. And that's the defense mechanism kicking in. He's beginning to show us things. And so we can go back out unless you got some.
No, I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, was it more in that video?
Con. It's a little bit more. Con.
Sean Waldman, CEO of Ohio-based Secure Cyber and a member of Cyber Ohio's Critical Infrastructure Working Group, says adversaries are constantly testing America's cyber defenses for vulnerabilities in preparation for war.
We're in a cyber cold war today. We've got vulnerabilities with air traffic, radar systems. We've got vulnerabilities in our 911 systems.
In China's Operation Volt Typhoon, hackers were able to pre-position bots inside U.S. systems, and they remained undetected for years, spying on the U.S. military. One of those responsible for securing America's power supply in the next cyber war is Andy Bachman, senior grid strategist at the Idaho National Lab. While his team works to make the grid safe, Bachman admitted there are 1 million vulnerabilities and a cyber war could be bad.
Vulnerabilities and vulnerable keep coming up.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, see, you went from a superpower right, to being vulnerable. Which in some cases, that's even more effective than war as touching compromising your day-to-day. Because really that's a very strategic form of war. You know, cutting off the supplies of the city or whatnot. So now you have the people at a disadvantage, you know, that fear seep in. So this place was prided itself on being the greatest, the lady among kingdoms. But just like that, just from a simple damn breach in your power grid, the power can go out. People can be compromised as touching water, communication. So yeah, America is vulnerable, man. Which this links into biblical prophecy. Come on, Walt.
In the United States, and we lost critical infrastructure services that we take for granted, that we come to expect, there will be much wailing and gnashing of teeth. See the recent CrowdStrike thing.
He has to get biblical right there. Come on, Walt. I mean, this brothers wanted to add something to that.
Oh, no, you got it.
And that wasn't even a hack. That was just human error misconfiguration with a huge impact, right?
In a cyber war, hackers will not be content to just turn things off. They'll also try to force potentially dangerous sites like dams and nuclear plants to malfunction. In 2013, Iranian hackers gained access to the control system of a dam in Rye Brook, New York, before being caught. The experts we talked to all believe cyber war is coming. All are personally preparing, some with stocks of food, water, and fuel.
I think that every household can be more prepared for 30 days off the grid. Think about your water. Think about your food stocks. Think about your emergency communications plans. Think about, do you have people in your house that need medicines that are refrigerated?
Even though U.S. experts know the next war will begin in cyberspace and are scrambling to beef up America's defenses, they also know that in this very internet-connected age, there are likely too many vulnerabilities to defend.
Yeah, and you know what? You know how he get down. He always going to twist and use certain things, because not to say that this is not a reality. This is a reality what's taking place. Indeed, there is cyber attacks taking place, but this devil will use that to further his agenda. And it really puts him more into that, it entangles him more. The more mischief, it entangles him more and more. But one of those bankers, they actually quoted that, never let a good crisis go to waste.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those bankers who said it. So you see these devils, they say, oh, what? And those who are linked into that cabal, if you will, they'll say, yeah, we can use that to further promote, you know, you being protected by having all your information downsized to a little chip. You have it inserted in you. Now you don't have to worry about these fears.
Mm.
You see? But then what about the power outages? Because for those who take that thing, man, because you're going to have a wave of people who are going to take it out of desperation. You got people out there that's already chipped. But then you have a wave of people that are going to take it out of, like I mentioned, desperation. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. And they think that they're going to be in good case, but then the damn wall's going to close in on them. So that was it on that,
Con.
I got something for you real quick.
Yeah, come on.
It's like Ecclesiastes 5 and 7. Just going back to that, you mentioned how they being naked, you know, and pretty much defenseless. You know, we just you know, checked out in the video how these people they're clueless to what's going on, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't. There's not a sense of urgency really over here in Babylon the Great was America. You know, you had these other countries. They mentioned China, Russia. You know, they doing countrywide drills and shit. You know, they preparing. They know what the spirit is on the earth.
Mm.
Right.
You know, these Americans, you know, they don't, you know, they're just ready for the taking. Salah is I said Ecclesiastes 5. I mean, was it 9? Is it 9 and 12? I believe.
Con.
Salakia. I also think about that Sirach, the 5th chapter, which talks about in thy security. That's what I was thinking about. You know, in thy security, that's when the wrath of the Lord is gonna befall you, man. You know. But you got
You
it.
want to grab the Sirach?
No, you can get that. You can get that. This right here, the Ecclesiastes 9.
Con. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12. For man also knoweth not his time,
Yeah.
as the fishes that are taken in the evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare.
Yeah, and these people are just going by their day. They just cattle, man. You know, they just going by their day. Is not a sense of urgency. You know, it talks about how a wise man discerning both time and judgment. They don't possess that wisdom. You know, so that's why they're known. The Lord is pretty much categorizing them as prey. Pretty much, you know, the fishes that's taken in a net, the birds that's caught in the snare. You know, these people are really ready for the taking. You got it out.
So are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it followeth suddenly upon them.
And yes, this is an evil time. Well, you know, water, running water is based off, these different pumps throughout the city. You know, and so if the electricity go out, that means you ain't got no water as well, man. You know, because they don't got these different water towers where they use gravity. You know, they use these different pumps to pump these water through these houses. As I mentioned, how your everyday life consists of this, man. His technology is going to be compromised, man. You know, these people, their diets, they used to eat every day and shit and DoorDash or whatever. You know, the Lord is going to pull all these things away, man. Well, so you're going to be snared in an evil time. So this is where we at in this process. You know what I mean? This is the Lord actually coined as an evil time. So what other news could you really expect in this lifetime? Evil and only evil. But you got it out.
Well, if I may, that's why the lady, right? You heard her tone. She was speaking about going off the grid. She was taking it up, man.
Yeah.
That was the only conversation that could be had.
Yeah.
Right? She couldn't. And that's pretty much all you people right now, man. Right? Just peace and tranquility. That's just that's almost teetering towards being just a myth. Right? Vacation. Which all that shit, like, you go on a vacation, it's a lot of hassle anyway, man. And they push that. That's what push. Like a Carnival cruise, or people still biting on that shit where they have the backdrop, it's a palm tree. But then the reality of it is not what you think. You simple Americans, you still biting on that shit as if. Then let's say if it was the dream vacation, you come back, you got to come back to reality, come back to work, come back home.
The squatter.
Yeah. That's the exclamation point now. Come home to a squat, and that's what's been happening. I believe E behind that. E look at your records. He target. How niggas know your ass on vacation, man? And when you've been spinning, and all of a sudden, nigga at your house, and this paperwork to keep them there, right? But hey, even in that, your feet hurting, you get off the plane. You know what I mean? It's a house in a hotel. You know what I mean? Everything here is just a moment in time. It's a mist, a shadow that's here today and gone tomorrow. But this is an evil time. Right now, on all fronts, it's confusion. The brother mentioned it earlier, perplexity. right? The heavy spirit of fear. That's what's going to really lay hold of America, just like in ancient Egypt. You're going to know Yahweh by Shema Shai, man. See, that's going to be a beautiful thing. When that fear hit, then they're going to take away that pride of you people. You can't stunt when you scared. You saw the reaction of those Americans. They was taking off down the block. So yeah, come on. That was it. We can go back.
Con.
Matter of fact, let's end off. I see we're a good 10 minutes over an hour. Let's close out in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. So again, this place America is finished, man. There's no form of stability here. There's a false sense of it, but in that you have to trust in this system. And the scriptures tell you the results of that, right? If you lean on this broken reed, this unstable system, then it's going to pierce your hand. Meaning what? You have to be marked to continue in this society. And that in itself seals your fate. Because for those who receive that mark, man, the Lord have sworn in his wrath to pour out his judgment without mixture. All right, so come on.
Con. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and verse 11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely. All of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates.
Right. And that's America, man. Right? Neither bars nor gates. They have a defense system, technically, but it's shoddy at best. Right? There's been various simulations of missiles being shot, and America's defense system failed miserably. Right? The people, they dwell safely. They are at rest. You got these women leaving out of bars at 3 a.m. in high heel shoes, stumbling and bumbling on each other, drunk, and there's a creep waiting on them. See, but this place is unwalled. It's not protected, and ultimately is not kept by Yahweh Shema Shai. Real quick, we're going to go back here because we want to look up this word. I think that's unwalled, but let's get that real quick. I believe that's Psalms 127. Right? The main reason why this place is unwalled is dwelling without bars and gates, because Yahweh Shema Shai is not going to protect it, man. The Lord have numbered it to the sword. Come on.
Psalms 127 and verse 1. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain.
See? So this place is considered naked, open. Why? Because the Lord is not keeping it. In fact, the Lord is going to discard it and completely burn it and leave it as a desolation. So now let's go back here and let's click on that word unwalled.
Strong's H 6519. It says open region, hamlet, unwalled village, open country.
Right. Left open. You guarding somebody on the court and you leave them open, right? That means you no longer guarding them. So Esau is open. His system, everything is open to attack.
The borders.
Yep.
Open borders.
Oh, Slacky, you got it up.
So like that just that term, open borders, show you that it's
Mm-hmm.
easy access within, you know.
Yeah, and those immigrants, they killing rappers and I don't know if y'all heard that, right?
God. Yeah.
Come on. Oh, matter of fact,
Con.
let's click on this root.
Con. It says chieftain, leader, warrior, meaning dubious.
Now click on that word dubious.
That word dubious, hastily, or doubting. It says not to be relied on,
Right, not to be
suspect.
relied on. Not to be relied on, suspect. So when something is unwalled, is not protected, is not to be relied on. Right? So that's why the Lord gave us an alternative. We got the kingdom to lean on. We have the understanding that there's a world to come, a reality outside of this one that we experience. Now, versus the people, they rely on this. This is they be all end all. They rely on this system. Their hopes and dreams, their desires, it all intertwines with this system. Oh, remember when the phones, I believe it was iPhones, everybody's phone was compromised. I think it was outages. And everybody descended upon AT&T to store a bunch of niggas. And they was threatening the clerks. And you'd think it was the end, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, nigga, your phone just went out. I mean, it'll be all right. Everything. See, but they rely. The Lord said this system is not to be relied on, man. Why? Because it's unwalled. It's not protected. It's not being kept ultimately by Yahweh Shema Shah. Matter of fact, I want to read some more into them definitions.
Con. It says suspicious, suspect, under suspicion, untrustworthy, it's like unreliable, undependable, questionable.
Yeah, undependable, man. Who could trust in a society where you have to just concede to digital? Just think about that, right? The real world, because the ancient world is just realistic. This place here is just a fucking facade, man. But right, in the real world, you should be able to have livestock. I should have land. I should have some form of equity. I should have something, man. Right? But they reducing this now. Everything is just pretty much going to be digital, man. As far as, your money, if you was to be liquidated today, how much you will be worth. Then a nigga can put so many zeros, right, in the account, but really, where is the physical? What a goal at, man. See? And he can't tell us that they not into the goal, because what happened to them people over there? I might not even need to mention it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Live go out. You don't have video for a couple of days, man. Yeah, but see, this society can't be trusted. You can't. Who in their right mind would want to commit to something like that? That's why this place has to be destroyed. See, everything got to go back to the prototype. You ever notice like Star Wars and those different, right? If you ever peep how they are structured, they'll have like this technology, laser guns with lasers and robots, but it'll be in an ancient setting. If you ever know, they got the ancient caves, it looked like an ancient Bible, right? Because that's a hint that's a clue to really. That's the prototype. That's how it should be. Not saying you got no robots and shit, but how technology. I mean, it's like how a system should be governed. Really, it comes from an ancient perspective. You see, not this modern, if you will, this least, this end or the last, if you will, as touching kingdoms. It's all artificial. It's nothing like the prototype. Right? You have a TV show, then you have a spin-off. No, the hell with that, man. The prototype of how a kingdom should be ran would be in the form of the kingdom of heaven. Yeah, so is there any more on that?
It's a little bit more Baba Shah. It
Mhm.
says shady, fishy. Let's see. Vague, cryptic. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And you see the opposite, right? Trustworthy, decisive, clear, definite. Yeah, so here it's not any clarity. You people can't really sleep you can't rest assured that it won't be a World War III. You can't say that. You can't get a solid argument and pretty much discredit the idea or concept of a global war, or even, and in this case, your power grid being stressed, power outages, or communication and information breaches. You can't assure that, man. See, because this place is unstable. It's unreliable. See, and that's the Lord really making Esau bare. He's naked, nowhere to hide. He's not hedged. He's not defended. See, he's ready for the taking. So yeah, with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders, a great millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there. And as always, you believers, to the next time, shalom.
Shalom.